Last night, husband was very kind to me because he loves me very, very much, and he took me to the thrift store. Oh, good lord, I love book shopping at the thrift store. I feel like when I'm book shopping at the thrift store, destiny and fate like have a hand in the books I end up reading. 10 books I think I got from the thrift store. Anyway, so let's dive into those. Most are middle grade, but I'm going to start with the ones that aren't. I'm going to start with the grown-up books. And the first one is The Martian by Andy Weir. Oh, I'm going to have to like put a sticker over Matt Damon's face or something because movie tie-in, but for $1, like I couldn't say no just because it was the movie cover. So I'm kind of bummed I don't have the cool like orange spaceman cover that is really, I think, more captivating than Matt Damon's face. I did see the movie. I have not read the book, but I have seen the film. My husband's an engineer, so that was when he wanted to see, especially since we knew that like the science behind it was is all but one teeny weeny thing is accurate from what I understand in terms of the science in the science fiction. Yeah, so I'm excited to read it. I do know, and something super cool about this book is it was originally an indie book, you guys, like books like me that I write, like indie stuff. But he originally published this chapter by chapter on his blog for free. I'm not kidding. Until the whole book was there, like basically people were reading it and just kept demanding more and more and more, his blog followers. And then eventually he compiled it and published it. And I'm not sure where the story picks up there. I don't know if it was picked up by a publishing house or what happened, but I know that it was originally indie published by himself for free on his blog, which is so freaking inspiring to sad little writers like me that are just clawing and scratching and fighting for every book sale. Like that, it's just really nice to know that we're good writers. Like it's nice to know that we can find success. And so that's a really cool thing. And I loved the movie, and I've heard so many great things about the book and like the characters specifically. So yeah, I'm excited that when I need like a break from middle grade books to pick this up, it's just gonna be a fun read, and I know I'm gonna love it. So yeah, The Martian. Next up, I was very, very fortunate to find The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Kafka. Typical classic short stories. You guys, I have not flipped through this. It's annotated. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, this is fantastic. This is always one of my like secret joys of finding books at the thrift store. I really like have this secret hope that I will not unlike Harry Potter, find the Half-Blood Prince's book. You know what I mean? Like, if I find like a used book that, I don't know, it's gonna like help me magically or something, I don't know, but it's like, this is a romantic, like, fantasy sort of idea that, you know, I can't help it, my imagination does things. Anyway, so this is really extra special. It was a classic. I wanted it on my shelf. I've heard great things about Metamorphosis. When I need little nuggets of classic literature, I'll be grabbing this. So yeah, Metamorphosis and Other Short Stories by Kafka. The last non-middle grade book that I found. I saw it, I just grabbed it because I just saw like the logo on it that I recognized because it's from a TV show. And I, just as a joke, to be like, husband, look how funny, like I love this show. And then I started flipping through it, was like, oh crap, I have to buy this is great. So it is the official companion book to the television show Frasier, okay, by Jefferson Graham. So here's the thing, I grew up on this TV show, you guys. My grandma, my grandpa, and I used to watch it every night. I love the show. I binge it on Netflix or have it on the background. Like, it's like a background TV show for me all the time. I love it. David Hyde Pierce is probably my favorite actor ever. I love his stage work. I love the few movies he's in, and I love him. I absolutely adore him as Niles Crane. So this is super just sort of like weird guilty pleasure book for me that I just needed on my shelf. But I'm really excited, and you may think that I'm silly, but I don't even care. This is fantastic. So On to the middle grade books. I think they're all middle grade books. I'm hoping that everything I got is middle grade. If not, it's very highly likely that I'll enjoy it anyway, but first up, The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. It's basically about kids that are gifted. So there's this test put out and kids can take the test, and if they basically qualify as gifted, they get to go to a special school? Oh no, they go on a secret mission, not a school. Wow, obviously I pay attention. Anyway, and then weird things happen. So, from what I gather. I don't know, it sounded quirky and fun. So, the synopsis was cleverly written on the back, so that always kind of calls me to a book if I can tell that the writing's gonna have a really distinct voice and style. I really like that. So, and it seems like this might. So, The Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. And then I did a major, not even moderate, happy dance in the aisle of the thrift store when I found the field guide, the first book of the Spiderwick Chronicles. The one I read for Booktubeathon was a library book, and I wanted to buy a box set, but we're trying to save money. I found this one, was hoping to find a lot more Spiderwick. This was the only Spiderwick Chronicles book they had. And of course I grabbed it and did a happy dance and made like 13 people look at me funny. Spiderwick Chronicles by Tony DeRosie and Holly Black. And then I found James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. And I love the movie, and I actually think I read this in like 2nd grade. 2nd grade? Maybe my teacher read it to us. James, little boy, lives with his evil aunts. Giant Peach appears on his tree, and of course he eats a bit and crawls inside it and goes on adventures with a giant grasshopper, a giant ladybug, a giant spider, a giant centipede, a giant glowworm, a giant earthworm. Hijinks ensue. So, James and the Giant Peach, Roald Dahl, super excited for this. Then I found a classic kids book. The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, a Goosebumps book by R.L. Stine. Hey, middle grade perfection. This is great. Basically, it's a cursed cuckoo clock. And then I found Afternoon of the Elves by Janet Taylor Liesel. Newbery Honor. So that means it, of course, was awarded for its writing, so that's something I need to pay attention to. So Sarah Kate suddenly one morning like finds a tiny little village in her front yard made of sticks and leaves and things, and it's like a little fairy village. And you guys know that I am like a fairy fanatic. I'm a fairy-natic. Ugh, that's not a good word. So yeah, naturally I was like, yes please, and for like the, what was it, a quarter, 50 cents something, I was like, oh heck yes, I'm gonna be needing to read about them little fairies. Oh, maybe it's elves, not fairies. I don't know. I guess it's elves. Sometimes they're interchangeable. I don't know. And then I was fortunate enough to find the 6th book in the series of unfortunate events. Series of unfortunate events. Yeah, so series of unfortunate events, The Ursit's Elevator. I have read the first series of unfortunate events, The Bad Beginning, and I loved it. And I randomly have the like 10th book, and I found this one, which is the 6th. So one day I will find the 2nd book and continue on. The Lemony Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events, book 6. Finally, lastly, I found Lockwood & Co. The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. The first book in the Lockwood & Co. series, I guess. Basically, kids, ghosts, kids can see ghosts, ghosts do bad things, kids have psychic detective agency and do things about the ghosts doing bad things. It's a fairly newer middle grade book, you know, a lot of them that I got are much older, which is fine. So yeah, it just looked really appealing. It had ghosts and supernatural, and that's just something I usually like, and it sounded cool, and the cover's really pretty. This is really pretty. So yeah, The Screaming Staircase, Jonathan Stroud. Yeah. Whew! Okay, that's the book haul, you guys. The December / holiday / I happen to go to the thrift store book haul. I know I'm probably gonna love all of them. I'm gonna have to find a place to put them, like, ugh. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. You're so great. I love you all. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more, please, and thank you. Have a fantastic day. Happy reading.